Well, I feel like making a video. It's just how it is. I'm on a roll with these things. I've made 3,000 videos on my David Lovins channel. There's that tower down there I always photograph. I'll show you. It's down there. That's for the Reno International Airport. And there it goes, fading away. It's like the Twilight Zone. Alright, a blue truck with a green motorcycle just went by. Alright. It's Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. We just had a very heavy rain here. Weather is the emotional state of God. Okay, my phone has some power to it. Like 38% or something. Let's see if we can get John Lovins on the phone. I sent messages to 4 people today via text, but they don't reply. Because my life is sad and miserable. So my brother John's number is blocked, but I can still call him. I think it just means he can't call me, which is good. All right, let's give it a try. Oh my goodness.
Hello?
Hi, John, I have some good news.
Yeah, what?
Well, I just spent time listening to the video we made yesterday, and your audio came in really good. I think it's the best video we ever made.
That's good news.
And I told Mike and Matt about it.
Yeah?
Mike was fascinated with the fact that both of us are making a video together.
Wow.
And I have shocking news.
Oh, do tell.
I got Mike Lovins to laugh yesterday.
No way.
What? So I couldn't believe it. Basically, we're talking about the respect for God thing that he has.
Yeah.
And I was going through my Rolodex in my brain about the concept of respect, and I finally brought up Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. And that got him to laugh because it's completely opposite.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I do have a favorite joke that I'd like to tell you that Rodney Dangerfield did.
All right. Well, you're live and on the air, so go ahead.
Okay. Kudos to Dangerfield. You know, I get no respect. I took my wife to the opera. She forgot the sandwiches. Now, the joke that I told Mike that made him laugh, are you interested in hearing this?
You have the stage.
Okay, was this. Hey, Mike, I like you because you're a true blue guy. And I said, you're true and blue through and through. He laughed.
All right. You got some more Rodney for me?
Yeah, when I was born, the nurse took me out and he slapped me in the behind. And the doctor said, yeah, I think you need some more of that. So he slapped me there again.
You do a pretty good Rodney Dangerfield impersonation.
Thank you.
You got any more?
Oh, if I got more, jeez.
Do I got more?
First, I want to talk about Dr. Vinnie Boomba.
All right.
I actually have nothing to say, but I do have something to say about this. when Rodney Dangerfield was young, his mom used to promise him she'd take him to the theaters after school, and he'd wait around, and then she'd sneak off with her friend and go to the movies without him. And so that's why he got really, he had a complex about people not loving or respecting him. So he, would tell these jokes on Johnny Carson, and Johnny Carson, of course, had a mother who wouldn't even watch his stage acts in the backyard on his homemade stage. So they both laughed together because they both experienced moms who just didn't care.
Right, because a woman is bored with the baby after the first 6 months.
Yeah, and then she's like, this is no fun anymore. But I have to tell you that our mother read me Bambi till I was 5.
Well, she used to play me songs from the Sesame Street songbook on the piano.
I remember that.
I used to beg her to do that.
Yeah.
So she used to play Rubber Ducky and the Kermit song and a couple of other things.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
So that was a great joy.
Huh?
That was a great joy.
It was. And you got to have a little joy in life. Otherwise, why live it?
Well, that's about the only joy I had when I was a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
My biggest joy up to that point was successfully completing the Susan Lovins potty training program.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I like that song where she said, where it says something like "Happy Day, chasing the clouds away."
Well, that's the Sesame Street theme song.
Yeah. How does that go again? What I just did? Like, what's the proper?
Well, of course, Mad Magazine would do their parodies of those songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been so long since I heard that song. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the words from it.
Yeah. I just thought that's funny. Chasing the clouds away.
Yeah. In my research, the British were very skeptical of Sesame Street in the beginning in 1970, and they sensed that it was commercialized right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But on their end here in the United States, it was always educational for children here.
Yeah.
But it was also about marketing and selling products and toys right from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so it had a commercial aspect.
Commercial aspect and application.
Yeah.
So now they used to have a character called Franklin Roosevelt, and he was a black puppet.
Uh-huh.
And eventually they got rid of him. Now, you received an Oscar the Grouch puppet when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I remember that thing. I used to love it. Oscar, as a puppet, came with a trash can.
Yeah, I just thought that was so funny.
So, and I remember going to Robert Weatherwax's house because he had UHF, so we could watch Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Because
I used to have to go to Perry Jager's house to watch UHF.
So, because we didn't have UHF.
No, we were poor Mormons with a black and white TV.
So, you saw Weird Al Yankovic's movie UHF?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's really good. I've seen it a couple times. Our brother Matt Lovins, he was a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
So I started looking into it. Yeah, on YouTube, There's a couple of bits you can see if the movie isn't available for free. Sometimes it is, sometimes not. But there's Conan the Librarian,
Mm-hmm.
where Conan is working in a library.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And then there's a Rambo bit,
Yeah.
and there's one other. Oh, and he does Gandhi Part 2, Taking Revenge.
Oh, that's funny.
And Weird Al portrays Gandhi with a semi-automatic rifle kicking ass.
That's funny.
So UHF, it also features Michael Richards after he worked on Fridays before he did Seinfeld.
Yeah, I remember Michael Richards very well.
And the movie is actually a Michael Richards vehicle.
Oh, is it?
It's more about him than it is about Weird Al.
Oh.
So if you want to see some really good, obscure, weird Michael Richards material, his head is almost shaved in the whole movie.
Oh, wow.
And he does this kids TV show in the movie.
Wow. Wow.
He starts out as a janitor at this UHF station, and they didn't have anyone to do this show, so the janitor becomes the star of the entire show.
That's funny.
Weird Al, he could only get like 4 kids in the audience,
Yeah.
but once Michael Richards starts doing the show, the whole place is packed with kids.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's my recommendation as a movie during this video. UHF, it's actually played so much now that everyone who was in it,
Yeah.
even though it was a flop, they get residual checks.
Whoa.
And a person who has made a lot of money from that movie, even though he was only in it for 2 minutes, was Emo Phillips.
Yeah.
And he's 50 or 60 now. I never thought he was that funny, but he's in the movie for 3 minutes. He gets like royalty checks all throughout the year.
Yeah, that's great.
Because that movie.
Yeah, he's good.
So, Emo Phillips. He does this kind of stupid voice.
Yes.
Yeah, the concept of him is funnier than he actually ever is.
Yeah. Well, he did like pivotal reversals where you think you're on the outside and then you're on the inside and vice versa of a place. Like there's a kind of like a Jerry Springer joke was like Emo Phillips, where Jerry says he's locked. He's locked in a room. Well, this woman is banging on the door saying, "Jerry, Jerry, Jerry." And then Jerry says, "I finally let her out."
I like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, he was rambunctious. He just recently passed away,
Wow.
but he was hilarious and kind of really off the wall. I mean, he was a lot better than Maury Povich. Maury Povich.
Yeah. Well,
Maury Povich was just kind of, I mean, he was boring. The only thing exciting he ever said was, "You are the father,"
yeah. Who cares about him?
Yeah, but Jerry Springer was quite a character. Had lots of fist fights in front of him and, created controversy.
What do you think about David Brenner?
One of my all-time favorites.
I brought him up. He just came to mind because he was from that kind of late 80s where he kind of had like some prominence there.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. He was actually told to pretend to be younger than he was to appeal to the college crowds.
So he was pretty good.
He was great. He read all the newspapers. He knew all the headlines, and then he would make jokes about them. And so everybody could relate to his stuff because it was all in the news.
Yeah, I always liked him. He kind of disappeared and phased out a little. I didn't see much of him lately.
No, I'm not sure if he's still alive.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'd have to look it up.
But yeah, he did some really funny National Geographic jokes, and it was just about everyday stuff, like going into a Jack in the Box and being the only one there, and having him say "number 1" to the counter. Yeah, but yeah, he was just he was just funny. Like he was in the he did some kind of joke with National Geographic. He said every time I looked at the National Geographic and saw some women in there, I wanted to pull out my spear, and stuff like that. But
Yeah, well, back in the 50s, that was a lot of guys, first porn magazine.
yeah, Firstborn, yeah, National Geographic. Oh, brother.
Well, that's what you'd look at, because, I only way. Well, you get to see some nudity there from indigenous.
As a 13-year-old, it could be exciting.
Well, it was exciting to a 13-year-old.
Yeah, it is. Have you enjoyed the art of Mort Drucker?
I don't know who that is.
He's a big artist for Mad Magazine.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But there's books out. Like if you go to, you look on Amazon, or I don't know if they still, I guess they don't have, they've got some Barnes and Nobles bookstores. Do they have any in Reno?
Look, Barnes and Nobles doesn't exist anymore.
Well, there is a Barnes and Nobles, a couple stores here in Utah that still exist
right.
as Barnes and Nobles. But you can find his books there.
Yeah.
Drucker. There's even a caricature artist out in West Valley Mall who does caricatures, and he's got a few Mort Drucker books hanging out for people to check out and laugh their butts off. But I mean, as a Mad Magazine artist, he was pretty prolific. Lots of.
What was he the one that started to branch out and did posters for like American Graffiti and Animal House and stuff?
I wouldn't doubt it, but I don't know for
There's Mort Drucker, there's Al Jaffe.
Al Jaffe, yeah, that's true. What a name, Al Jaffe.
So what happened is you would buy all the Mad magazines, and then I would read them.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
So you were my go-to for Mad magazine.
Yeah, well, I saw a kid at school who had one behind his textbook and hid it from the teacher really well. I didn't get away with that so easy. I had the magazine hidden, and then she'd find it and confiscate the Mad magazine until the end of class.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. It was probably more informational than anything she was talking about.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And they made fun of the $6 Million Man. Like they did the opening sequence where they said, we have the ideas, we have the technology, and we have the erector set.
Yeah. Mad Magazine is great. Before I left San Francisco, there was some guy, and he was selling this clear plastic vinyl case filled with Mad magazines, and I bought them for $5.
No way.
I got like 25 Mad magazines for $5.
That's a steal, David.
So they are still in this, airtight container.
Wow.
So as you know, I'm moving from one big storage unit to two smaller ones, and so I'm still moving. I'm doing that even today on Memorial Day weekend, every day.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of stuff. Probably,
I, I'm trying to save myself $320 a month.
yeah, well, that's a good idea.
Well, I can't afford it anymore.
Right. Well, in one of the two storage areas, I'm sure you have your own offices, the David Lovins
Well,
art office.
it's so filled with stuff. Um, but I think I might be able to make it work. I'm still not done moving. I have about 5 days left.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're going to pull it off.
Well, I don't know if I will. I might have to pay public storage another 30 days to finish.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money that I don't have, so that's why I'm frantically trying to do it within 5 days.
Well, I would do it. Do you have any help over there?
No, I do it all by myself. Uh, my girlfriend has helped me, but she's not here right now.
Oh. Well, hopefully she comes back for a few of the days.
Well, she might be back on the 5th of next month to help me a little.
Aha. Well, I wish I was there to help you, Dave.
It's hard to have anyone help me because I have to go through each item.
Yeah.
You
You don't want anybody to go in there and manhandle.
Well, nothing's that precious, but I just need to know where stuff. I have to handle all the stuff.
Right. That's the way it goes.
Anybody else there? Like the last time the girlfriend was helping me, I appreciate her efforts, but she just ended up getting in the way.
I see.
I couldn't think.
Right.
I need to be by myself in order to think.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, with the last video, I hope you watch it. John talks about Burger King.
Right.
That's the title of it. I thought it'd be a good title to get people to watch.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch these, and they're on Patreon or are they?
No, they're on YouTube.
Okay, so I'll just go to David Lovins' radio show.
Yeah, you just type it. I literally typed in John talks about Burger King on my phone, and it popped up.
Oh wow!
And it's not as if you even talk about Burger King for hardly any part of the video. I mean, we talk about Sam Eisenstein and other things, but I wanted to hear it to see how the audio was working when I record you.
Yeah,
And it worked really well.
that's great.
And the way I'm recording, I think it picks up your voice pretty well now. And like
Next time we can talk about baby otters.
What? Baby otters? What brought that up? Are you still there? Oh, on hold. Still there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I pressed the on hold button by accident.
Right.
Baby otter.
I just mentioned that one day we should talk about baby otters because they're so cute, and we'll call it cuteness overload.
Well, I guess baby otters slide down the ice just like the adult otters.
Yeah, but they're cuter than the adults.
I guess it's a slip and slide affair.
Yeah, it is. Raunchy as hell.
This is YouTube, John. Better be careful.
Raunchy. Yeah, I know.
Because you don't want to offend the advertisers, which is what it's really about.
It's all really about that. Yeah, we're just ancillary documents and anecdotal uh, vestiges for the advertisers. But, you let them think that. We're the stars of this show.
Well, we're not stars yet. But I have a thought about that
Yeah,
is
what's that?
if we become stars, you know who will want to be on this radio show? Mike, Mark, and Matt.
Yeah, of course, they'll all jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, see,
Once the Pioneer Brothers have started.
see, they won't be on it now. Hey, I heard that your radio show is going really good. Do you think I could be on it? Well, where were you when I was just starting out? Why didn't you support me then? Well, I didn't know it would be anything.
Remember the story Mom used to read a story called The Little Red Hen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Red Hen said, "Okay, everybody, we're going to bake some cakes. And I need your help." They go, "No, I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it." Then the cakes were made. "Oh, can I have some of the cake?" Where were you when we started making them?
Yeah, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
So, once our videos get a little bit of attention, it's like Mike will call me up and he'll say, "Well, can I talk about my new comic book on your radio show, David?"
Yeah, Mike, unfortunately, this is like David Letterman. We frown upon people plugging their own thing on this show.
Well, I'm not adverse to plugs.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they pay for them, Mike.
No, they don't.
I understand you got a few bucks in the bank, Mike. About $1,000. We'll put it on the show.
No, it's not about that. It's more of a moral support thing.
Yeah.
Like, support me, like, when I'm just, like, at rock bottom. Don't jump on after I get, like, 100 million subscribers.
Right.
You know?
It's like when I did my second stand-up gig down the street at First Street Cafe. My friend Ron, his car passed the show at night just when it was starting, and I left a message. I said, "You're not really gonna just go home, are you? I mean, you're coming to support me at this show." And then he turned around and he came back and he was at the show.
Well, that's good. That's support.
Yeah.
That's moral.
Hell yeah.
That's moral support. So I'm
When we got there, the comic looked at me and him and said, "I don't know if you guys are old or if you're homeless." The MC.
Oh, you're old. So we've done 28 minutes. You have 1 minute to tell any jokes you want, or to wrap it up, or to plug anything you want to do. Yeah. Say where your next comedy act is.
Hey, my next comedy act is in Salt Lake City, Utah, in the Avenues, at First Street Cafe on I Street and First Avenue. It is free. You can bring your own water or your own 6-pack of beers, and it's a bust. Okay. Thank you, David Lovins Radio Show, for the plug.
All right. See, I'm not adverse to that.
That's good, and I don't even owe you $1,000. So I mean, you're cool.
So I think this has recorded really well. So we might be on a roll with these radio show things.
Looking forward to it even more.
Because the last one, I really listened to it and I thought it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, well, as we do it, I feel good about it.
And being on the radio, it kind of makes us both behave.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps us in line.
So you have 20 seconds before the camera shuts off. Can you do a joke in 10 seconds? Do another Rodney.
Well, no, I'm going to do one from my junior high years where a guy says about Builder's Emporium down the street. It's